Welcome back to Every Other Carl. I'm Carl, and today I'm going to be installing this pre-hung door in a new construction setting on my shed. This is actually a used door, you can probably tell. It was never installed, but it was repainted kind of poorly by the previous owner. They bought it, never put it in. Still has the tag on it. I got it for 80 bucks, which is a pretty darn good deal. It's a steel door, pre-hung, meant for the exterior, and most important to me, it opens in and to the right. That is exactly what I wanted. So I got pretty lucky with this door. So this is a 36-inch wide by 80-inch tall door. I cut my rough opening to 38 3/4, so over 38 inches. And the height is 82.5. I'm going to flash this door similar to how I've been flashing my windows using flashing tape. I'm going to start with the door sill, come up the sides, and then I'll come up the sides here to integrate it into the house wrap. And get the floor nice and clean.
I'm using Nashua brand flashing tape. This is really strong stuff and it's pretty budget friendly. I'll leave a link to it in the description.
All right, so I have one layer that comes up the side, underneath here, all the way up here, up this side. And then I covered the corners that I had to cut relief slits in. I covered them with individual pieces of flashing tape. And then I put a second layer right above on the bottom here that goes further into the floor so that I'm going to match the width of the door, and I can run a bead of caulk along here. Now I'm going to put flashing tape up the sides.
I'm making sure the flashing tape adheres to both the house wrap and the wood sheathing. This keeps any air or water from infiltrating the door that might find its way behind the house wrap.
I didn't wrap it all the way in. I wrapped it all the way to the outside so that it is integrated with the house wrap. This is going to be where the brick mold sets, this part, and I'm going to be putting caulking behind the brick mold, so it's going to adhere to the front face of this flashing tape. And the inside is going to be filled with spray foam. And I want the spray foam to adhere to the plastic and also wood. Now I'm going to put one last piece over the top of the door. All right, that might be a little bit overkill, but I'm happy with it, and I think it's going to seal really nicely with the caulking. The next thing I want to do is caulk the bottom. I'm going to go with a really thick bead along the bottom here, and then up the sides.
I'm being very generous with the caulking here, but I'm keeping it a few inches back from the edge of the door threshold to allow any water that might find its way in through the sides of the door to have a way out.
All right, the next thing I'm going to do is caulk the back side of my brick molding here. I'm going to turn the door around a little bit to do that. I put a nice thick bead all the way around the back side of the brick molding and on top. All right, it's time to turn this around, fit it into place. All right, now I have some galvanized trim nails, and I'm going to put one at the bottom just to hold it while I shim it from the other side. All right, with the door in place, the caulking is giving it some adherence to the wall, which keeps it set for the most part. And once the door is open and swung inwards, it's not going to fall out of the building. So now's the process of getting this door nice and plumb and square. So I have my carpenter square. I'm going to go around and get this frame really square.
This is the most important part of the process. Take your time and make sure the door opens and closes easily.
All right, the door is nice and square and plumb. Now I'm going to start screwing it in each one of these hinges. They give you an open hole, and that is going to be your screw into the frame, and on this side I'll screw in near the strike plate here, right behind this weather stripping. I'll probably throw another one at the top and the bottom. I have it shimmed right behind the strike plate at the top and the bottom, and right behind or right above each of these hinges. I'm using 2.5-inch grip right screws. Not sure that that's necessarily the best choice for a door, but it's my favorite kind of screw. Alright, that is all screwed in, and the next thing I want to do is put a few more galvanized trim nails around the brick molding. Alright, it's nailed in, screwed in, plenty of caulking along the bottom. I'm going to clean up this excess here since it's still wet. I'm going to break these shims off. You can tell my rough opening was actually pretty caulked this way, so the door really had to be shimmed to the side. Worked out fine though. Closes nicely, and reveal is pretty darn even all the way around the door. So I'm very happy with that installation. Next thing I'm going to do is throw one more bead of caulking around the outside edges of the brick molding, because it's a little bit away from the building, so not all of that caulking that I put behind it is actually making contact. So put that in, and I'm going to spray foam the door.
I'm using Dynaflex 230 window and door caulking. This is a great budget-friendly exterior caulk. I'll leave a link to it in the description.
Alright, that is nicely caulked all the way around. Now I'm going to spray foam from the inside. Just like for my windows, I'm using this Loctite window and door foam, low expansion, so it doesn't blow the frame.
Just to reiterate, make sure you use low expansion foam for this part of the process.
So I ran out of foam. I'll go get some more, but that's the idea. Just filling all these gaps with that window and door foam all the way around. And that's pretty much going to be it. I have this temporary doorknob in here. Normally you would put some flashing over the top of the door here to direct water over, but it is literally right under the eave, so there's very little chance that any water is going to get up there, and I have it all caulked in anyway, so that's the reason I left any flashing off the top. But that's going to do it for this door installation.
Here's me finishing off the spray foam a little later. A tip is just make sure you fill the gaps fully and then let the foam dry. Then you can cut off any excess with a razor blade instead of trying to clean it up while it's still wet.
Alright, that's going to do it for this door install. Very happy with how it turned out. You can let me know in the comments what you thought of this process. If you have some other tips or tricks, leave them in the comments below and help somebody else out. Until next time, I'm Every Other Carl. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see ya.